Good evening and welcome to Sunshine Valley Retreat here in the beautiful Western Australian country. As you can hear, my roosters, chickens are very happy. My lambs, sheep and all the animals around us, they're all very happy. Behind you, the camera, is our geese flapping around in water. It's just wonderful to behold. And as you can see behind me, there's a beautiful vine. We've enjoyed the most wonderful grapes. I am going to actually tonight share a little bit about how I've been doing my raised garden beds. This is where I have my raised garden beds, and I do also have a flat garden in there, but we're going to focus on my raised garden beds. Where the cameraman is shooting now, that's my flat bed where I've got 3 little chickens and a rooster, and that's for the purpose of getting those soils ready for me for planting. So as you can see, these are my raised garden beds. They are beautifully made, very strong tin, and I'm going to show you the process that I've used to get my garden beds prepared for planting my vegetables. So come on down. All right, well, right here is the start of how I prepare, should I say, my garden beds. You see the base of my garden beds I fill up with all kinds of waste. I don't waste a lot. So my milk cartons, my boxes, anything that is not plastic or aluminium or foil, which I don't use much of, goes into the bottom of my garden beds. Following all the beautiful packaging and boxes and any kind of waste, I then take my garden clippings. Every time we mow the lawn, all my garden clippings, which are absolutely beautiful, they go on top of the waste, and that helps to break down all the waste. Once we have completed the second layer, which is all the garden waste, we then have our third layer. Now, if the cameraman would like to come closer, the third layer is actually all the beautiful hay. Now, this is the hay that I use to feed my sheep, the hay that I use for my chickens, and this is the hay that is called oaten hay. This is very rich hay, and the reason why it ends up in here is because once it's on the ground, the sheep won't eat it any longer, and also when it's mixed in with the chicken feces, it makes a very rich type of a mulch. So that goes next. So as you can see, I'll dig down a little bit. I've got all the clippings from the lawnmower, the grass. Top layer is all the hay from the animals, and now we're going to take a few steps back and look at the next layer from then on. So if our cameraman would like to go to the next bed. Now, as I mentioned, we have our layer of cardboard and any waste from the house without plastic, no plastic at all. And then we had our clippings from the garden, which you can still see a little bit on the surface. And then we have our beautiful oaten hay, which came from the animals, and our next layer is our pea hay. Now, pea hay is fantastic for planting, fantastic for our plants, and what I do is I just break it down on top of the oaten hay, and this is where I start to do all the mulching. So I put a nice loose layer on top before the soil goes in with the cow, horse feces, and which makes such a beautiful rich garden that is going to produce the most amazing vegetables. And I use this beautiful hay also around my fruit trees. And we remember when we putting hay around the fruit trees, We don't want it to actually touch the bark of the tree, which we're going to talk about, and I'll show you another time. We may have enough of the hay already, so I'm just going to put this aside, which it will go next in that bed when that bed's ready. So let's make sure we have enough here of our beautiful, I may need a little bit more, beautiful pea hay, nicely spread across. And I'm going to put actually a little bit more in before I put the cow and horse manure and sheep manure. Now we have sheep here, so I collect all the sheep manure, and I also collect all the leftover feces and mixture from our geese and our chickens to mix in. And we are very blessed. We have a farm next door that has horses, and I go next door and I collect the horse feces, which is just beautiful for the garden. So there you go. That is my third layer, right? So we have all the household waste, we have the beautiful hay with all the mixture of the animal feces and everything that's mixed in there. And remember, all the animals that we have are all raised on grass, they're all raised on hay, and all the leftover fruit we are reformers, health reformers. So all our animals, including our little piglet, gets no meat whatsoever. Everything they're eating is leftovers. So we are very happy to collect all their waste and pop it in as beautiful fresh manure mixed into our garden. So there you have it, a beautiful raised bed. And as you can see, we've got several beds that are ready. Now today I prepared this one here this afternoon. If you'd like to have a look in it, I'll explain how I've done that. So on top of the pea hay, what I actually did was 3 layers of beautiful soil, and then another layer of pea hay and another layer of soil. And now you can see it actually has dropped from the weight of the soil. The soil is very, very weighty, and that just drops the whole bed. And you may wonder why I've put a layer of cardboard. All the beds will have a layer of cardboard around the sides to keep the soil cool, rather than having soil directly on the metal. It's going to be on cardboard. So once we are ready with for the next layer, I'll be placing the whole bed with cardboard. You would have maybe noticed cardboard on the side of the beds, especially on the back area. I've got layers of cardboard piled up, waiting to be broken, and layering every bed to keep our soil cool. So there you have it. We've got quite a number of beds for us to start putting our beautiful vegetables in, getting ready for our food sources. And if you are interested in coming to learn more firsthand, this is where we will be teaching and training you what the medical missionary, the health reform work is all about. We will be putting in our herb gardens soon. As you know, we've just moved here not very long ago. We have been preparing the grounds. You've seen the orchard that we've been working on, and we're looking so forward to sharing and showing you more. So thank you for joining us here in Western Australia, the Third Angels Ministry, on our beautiful retreat, Sun Valley Retreat. Good night, and have a beautiful and blessed evening or day wherever you are.